Over the last 2 weeks, Channel 4 has been trying out a new 3 times a week satire show. The first joke seemed to be based on its title. The 11 o'clock show started more regularly at 5 or 5 past than on the hour. For some viewers, the title wasn't the only thing that missed the mark. Andrew Best was one of many who found the show did not live up to its claims.
It's Thursday the 8th of October, it's Channel 4 and it's the 8th day in a row that the Queen Mother hasn't died.
The 11 o'clock show is topical and satirical, or so it claims. Last week's sketches included a report on new techniques in plastic surgery. Soon, they joked, face transplants will be possible.
If you had a choice, there's only 2 faces left between Dean Gaffney from EastEnders and Simon Weston. Whose face would you take?
I'd go without.
I thought this was cruel and tasteless. I didn't think it was satirical, and I certainly didn't find it funny. I believe a man who's shown such courage and dignity deserves better treatment, and so did many other viewers who rang Channel 4 to complain. But if the producers were hoping to measure their success by the number of complaints, then they were doing pretty well.
Bang!
More people rang to complain when they saw nothing amusing in trying to defuse a bomb in a busy shopping street so soon after the Omagh atrocity. Innocent death was a popular target on the show.
Louise Woodward, the woman who brought new meaning to the phrase bouncing baby boy, today had her first lecture at the South Bank University, where she's studying for a degree in law.
Apparently her first day has been rather difficult when people asked, what did you do in your year off? She had to reply, I shook a baby to death.
That same joke was rehashed another 5 times over the next minute, and that drew the greatest number of complaints. So was this show deliberately trying to offend?
I wouldn't say that the show set out to offend viewers. It set out to make people laugh and to be funny. And it's on late at night on Channel 4, where viewers expect a show that's got a bit of edge to it. And where you've got comedy that's got a bit of edge to it, in the eyes of some viewers, that might cross over the edge and be offensive. And if that's the case, that's a shame, you know. That's if it causes offence, we regret it. But that's not what it sets out to do, no.
Do you think perhaps you're guilty of being merely offensive rather than satirical?
Well, that's a very difficult line to draw between the two things. I mean, very often what in one person's eyes is satirical, in another person's eyes is offensive. And if comedy never strayed over that line, wherever it may be, it might all become bland and not funny. It's a very difficult one to get the right perspective on.
Channel 4 is supposed to be different. Its other shows include Eurotrash and South Park, which I watch and have no problem with. But does being alternative and at the forefront of comedy mean having to offend viewers?
On the taste and decency side, the problems of setting up a new show with a new team and new people are often about where you can draw the line. And I don't think you should ever say in comedy, you can't make jokes about this or you can't make jokes about that. And everything must be on a kind of case-by-case basis, which is very hard on a topical, quick turnaround show. But I am happy with the material, and I think we've got the level about right. It needs to be sparky, it needs to be on the edge. Otherwise, I don't see any point in doing it.
Are there no taboos anymore? Is everything and everybody fair game?
There are some areas that are still very sensitive. The royal family comes in, you know, for a lot of jokes at its expense, but nonetheless it is relatively taboo. But I think if you look back at the history of TV comedy, you'll see things that were considered taboo 20 odd years ago, 20, 30 years ago, and were quite shocking in their day, are now perfectly okay, and they're mentioned even like Before the Watershed. And I think the 11 o'clock show is an example of a programme which is really, you know, just going a little bit over the top in order to get some publicity, if you like, or to make its mark.
I think the 11 o'clock show was too close to the edge, and on a number of occasions toppled over. It may have set